Hey, it's Greg Otten here with MaritimeGardening.com, and today I'm going to do another root cellar hack video, so stay with me. So here I am in the forest behind my house. I've got a bit of land. My house backs onto a big forest. This is my land. If you go far enough that way, it's not my land anymore. So how is this a root cellar hack video? This year I've decided to, instead of doing traditional pickling, which is using vinegar, you boil the vinegar and you put your pickles in there and can it and all that sort of stuff, I decided to try a different technique for a lot of my pickles called Lacto-Fermentation, which is, I guess, even more traditional because it dates back further than that. I've talked about that in podcast and so on, the upcoming podcast, or if it hasn't already been out yet. I'm going to talk about how to do that. I can do a video on that too if people want to see. There's plenty of them out there. But anyway, the thing about doing Lacto-Fermentation is you set up the brine, you put your vegetables in the brine, you let them sit at room temperature for a week, and then you got to get them cold, right? Because you want to stop that process. The fermentation process occurs, that increases the acidity in the brine, and it creates an acidity that is not favorable to harmful organisms, and it preserves your pickles and makes them taste good too. But once it's to a certain point, you don't want to continue to work. You want the fermentation to stop. And once you cool it down, it slows it down or arrests that process, and it just keeps. So most of the people you watch on YouTube or Facebook or whatever, they'll say, put it in your fridge. That's a great idea. But in my garden right now, I'm currently getting like a bowl like this full of pickling cucumbers every couple days. So I don't have enough room in my fridge for all that stuff, and it seems a bit ridiculous to buy a second fridge just for preserving pickles. It seems like a bit not very cost-effective solution. So I thought about this a little bit, and I thought, oh, root cellar, that's a solution. And then I looked into building a root cellar. That's a bit much. I mean, I need to do this today. I've got too much pickles now, and I need this solved today. And I'm also a pretty cheap guy. I don't want to spend a lot of money. So I looked at other cultures, and I started thinking about the way the Koreans traditionally preserve their kimchi. They would bury it in the ground, and that was before refrigeration and so on. You want to keep it cool. Well, the ground's cool. But if you've ever been camping, and I mean, not everyone camps like me. When I go camping, it's pretty intense, not in the middle of nowhere. Usually the first couple days I got a couple beer in my backpack, and if you bury your beer about, I don't know, a foot deep in the ground, it's beautifully cold. Same principle, right? It's cold underground. In the winter, the temperature underground stays above freezing, but in the summer, the temperature underground stays much cooler than the temperature in the air. Pretty simple. So all I'm going to do today is dig a hole and stick some of my pickles in the hole. And so stay with me, and let's watch how this progresses. The trick here in Nova Scotia, where I live, is finding a place to dig where there's no rocks, because it's pretty rocky. If you take a walk in the woods here, the forest, there's rocks everywhere. You'll see giant rocks, almost like Stonehenge, sticking out of the ground. Some of them have bizarre shapes, almost like perfect squares and stuff. Anyway, it's hard to find a spot without rocks, so I'm going to feel around here, and hopefully I can get a nice spot that's deep enough. What I'm going to do is bury the jar so it's at least a foot below the surface. I think that should be fine. Okay, so stay with me. Let's give this a shot. Alright, so we got the camera going here. So here's all I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take this jar, I'm gonna put this plastic bag over it gently. Don't want to upset the pickles. I got them just the way I want them. I'm putting the jar upside down because really this bag is just to keep the dirt off my jar. Got a couple spruce boughs here. I'm just going to throw down in the hole. Just in case there is a bit of water, they'll create a little bit of drainage so that the jar isn't sitting right in water. This is not a dry part of the world, so although it's been quite dry this summer, I'm seasoned with that. Okay, so in goes the jar. Now I'm just going to put the dirt back around the jar. Boy, this dirt's cold. Beautifully cold. Hope I can get this guy back out. Alright. Now, my thinking is that if I put some boughs on top here, some different weeds like this stuff here, I gotta make the hole stand out. I also have to insulate it a bit. And I don't want the jar completely covered in dirt. I want to be able to sort of reach it, find it, access it. Because I'm only going to leave this out here until my garage gets cold. So I keep all my preserves in my garage normally because during the winter it's around 5 degrees Celsius. So I'm going to bring these in at some point in the fall when my garage gets cold again. I'm just going to put this stuff here as like an insulation. No, I'm not deforesting. These, trust me, I have these in my garden. They grow back. These ferns. I'm not denaturing the forest here. It's going to come back. These will come back just fine. They're about to die anyway. I've only got a few more weeks and they're going to start to turn color, these ferns. These will all come back next year. Don't worry. Okay, so I've covered that up. I'm just going to put this stump on top. And maybe I'll put a rock here, like that, just so it looks a bit odd. So it'll stand out to me when I'm looking for it. Put some of this soil back here. And this soil back around. All this will make it stand out. Because I'm going to have a number of these by the end of the growing season. I'll have to be able to find them all in November. So I plan to take them all in November. Put another rock on here. Looks really sort of irregular. Like that. Here. And this, I have a walking path right over there where I walk by this every day. Anytime I'm going to the woods just to take a hike or whatever, I'll walk right by this. So it's close to my normal habits in terms of where I go. So it's easy to access for me. Alright, so all done. That didn't take long. I don't know exactly how long that took. I'm guessing about 10 minutes. That's easier than building a root cellar. Would I like to have a root cellar some year? Yeah, that'd be great. But for now, I'm just, I don't have, it's really a project I should maybe build in the fall when it's nice and cool in preparation for the following year. Maybe I'll do that this fall, we'll see. But for right now, I don't have time for that, and this is a very cheap solution, and we'll see how it works. I'll have to examine these later on and have a look at them. But I'm optimistic because it worked. I'm just copying the practice that has been done in other parts of the world for years, and I'm confident it'll work. But don't sue me if you do this and it doesn't work for you. Do your own research. I'm just trying this, and this is the first time I've ever tried this. So full disclosure on that. I haven't been doing this for years, okay? This is my first year doing lacto-fermentation. That's worked great. I've been eating those pickles. I've been lacto-fermenting different things for a better part of a month, and been eating them because you can eat them within a week of beginning. And the taste is great. I'm really happy with them, and my health is fine. I feel good, and I don't feel sick or anything like that. So I hope this was useful for you. I hope you enjoyed this this discussion on the root cellar hack. If you enjoy this content, like us on Facebook, subscribe to the YouTube channel, check out our other videos, and check out our podcast, maritimegardening.com.